I met 50 Cent on a music video a long time ago, and I have to say, he was definitely cool with us, and he was definitely a ladies' man. They were all over him. Really cool guy. I met Snoop Dogg probably around 20 times. I've seen him on music videos, TV shows, movies. He doesn't always appreciate random people coming up to him and asking him for hugs and photos and stuff like that. In fact, I've seen him turn away a few people. And yes, it's true, he smokes a lot of weed. This is when I met Akon on a music video. I just remember that right when I took this photo, I noticed he had a huge diamond earring and it was like shining so bright. I could see it even from where I was standing, which was easily 10 feet away. Common, on the other hand, I really enjoyed meeting him. He was a nice guy. I chatted with him real quick because I was a huge fan of a TV show he had going on at the time on AMC channel. I probably met him around a total of 3 or 4 times. Switching over to rock music, I have to say Dave Grohl was just really, really cool. He gets to know the names of the crew he's working with. I did his documentary called Sound City. I spent about, I think, a week or 2 weeks on that. We got to shoot at his studio, which was in Sun Valley or somewhere north of Hollywood, up in the valley somewhere. And at the end of the day, I would go around and I would collect the guitar picks, and I even got a set of drumsticks that he used from the filming that we had done that day. He didn't even care if anybody picked it up, so I asked him, can I take this? And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. I met Meatloaf. All I can say is he was there. That's it. Meeting Weird Al was probably one of the coolest things. For one thing, he's a really nice guy. Definitely quiet, though. I thought he would be a little more like his character, the personality he tries to output with, the way his music is and everything. But in reality, he was just kind of like a normal, shy guy sitting around. I'd say the weirdest part about him was probably his hair. I think we did like a little comedy sketch with Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, and he was big into the beginning of his yoga program at the time. Overall, definitely a nice guy. There's definitely people in our filming group who were huge wrestling fans that were very happy to see him. I also worked with John Morrison from the WWE. We did a short film. We did a fake trailer for a movie that they wanted to shoot in the future, kind of Conan style, Conan the Barbarian style. But the guy was really nice. I definitely had a lot of chats with him. He asked me if I liked wrestling, and I told him, yeah, I'm not really a bigger fan of MMA. And he was, oh, that's cool. I really enjoy that sport too. So really nice guy. Speaking of MMA and UFC, this is prior to the film industry, but I had actually met Patrick O'Tay. He came to do a seminar back when I studied kickboxing and MMA in Boston, Massachusetts. Jumping into movies, I met Gunny. Very cool guy. You know him from the Vietnam movies. He's always got the militaristic kind of character he plays. But in real life, he was actually super nice. I came up to him. I had a chat with him, told him how much, I was a fan, how much my friends were fans. I gotta say, he had so much vigor for being in his age, and I think this was a couple years before he passed away, but definitely that was one of the highlights of working, and this was actually some kind of a military show that we were doing anyways. James Hong. Now, you probably don't recognize this guy, but man, he's been in probably hundreds of movies. If you were born in the 80s, you would recognize him immediately from Big Trouble in Little China. I love that movie with Kurt Russell. He was the bad guy in it. But man, this brief moment here to take a photo with him just made my day. Here I am with Jaleel White, or Urkel, Steve Urkel, as you might know him if you grew up in the 80s and 90s. I certainly did, so this was kind of a highlight for me. He was actually a really nice guy, and at one point, for some reason, I remember I had his phone number, and I don't think I ever called him, but I always intended to just see, is it real? If I really give him a call, would he pick up? I met Wilmer Valderrama on a music video he was directing. We actually filmed it at many different locations, but one of which was his house. Interesting story. I don't know where he lives now, but his previous house was in, I think, Tarzana, California, and it was actually Chuck Norris's old house, which I thought was just freaking awesome to be anywhere near where Chuck Norris used to stand and walk, and I thought that was really cool. The last show I ever worked on was Key and Peele for Comedy Central, and I have to say that show was just amazing. Both those guys were really, really cool. In fact, Keegan used to constantly call out my name during takes, so they would ad-lib a lot. And specifically, there was one episode where there was like a lightning in a bottle. Like this guy managed to put lightning into a bottle, like the saying, and he wanted to sell it. And Keegan was, during the skit, he was trying to come up with weird ways to exaggerate, or like, oh my God. And at one point he said, what the freaking Igor is that? And I thought, wow, that's so cool. I hope that makes the final episode. But of course, that ended up on the cutting room floor. And this one isn't necessarily a celebrity you might know, but this is actually Roberto, who's Pablo Escobar's little brother. This was kind of a weird day in Colombia. I actually went on the Pablo Escobar tour to see some of the sites where Pablo Escobar was involved with. And at the end, the tour was to go to one of his like safe houses and actually meet his brother. And that autographed picture right there, I actually still have it. Thanks for watching this video. Comment down below, and I'll see you soon.